All right, this is the last two letters of Russell Lander's envelope. You know, there's like, I don't know how many pages, maybe 9 or 10 different pages. We're on the last 2 pages. And this may be some legal stuff. I'm not really a legal person, but I'll just read it. If you're into the legal stuff, maybe this will make sense to you. I don't know. It looks like a bunch of legal stuff to me, but I don't know what we're fixing to get into. I have not read it yet. Let's read it together. This is Russell Dean Lander's Freeman, Montana standoff. Mid-1990s, been in prison 21 years. He's got 24 years to go. Penhallow et al. Versus Doane's administrators. The Penhallow et al. Versus Doane administrators Supreme Court case makes it abundantly clear that there can be no excuse for the government's creating legalism for the sake of using force against the sovereign people who established the limited corporate administrative system for managing limited community services and common defense of the country from foreign or domestic forces. This language was removed from this case as it in assessed on Prison Legal Library TRM Links system. TrueLink system, which I guess is a prison legal library system. Then he has big capital letters, why? ? This is not a trick question. Millions of Americans, their families, their communities, and our country all being destroyed by this ravenous, evil, corrupt, violent attack on our people, our country, and others around the world. This punishment unleashed on us by our just God for the wicked disobedience the nation gathered on America have embraced for many decades now. If we had followed the word, America would be nothing at all like it has become. See America's Godly Heritage, David Barton, at www.wallbuilders.com. We have been constructively lied to. John 10:10. Public miseducation has burnished fairy tales for sake of destroying our young and burning the truth at the stake. The Antichrist forces of evil have never had it so good. Everybody who is asked to sit on a bogus jury or so-called grand jury should be taught the truth set forth in Penhallow et al. That done, the fraud would be rendered exposed into extinction. The concentration camps on our land emptied and true justice meted out based on the word without exception. We are at the precipice turn. Call on the name of Yahweh, the Messiah, Jesus the Christ. Obey the word, John 1, or come to utter destruction. I suggest Penhallow et al. Should be on every courthouse door and posted board on the door and podiums of every legislative assembly hall, and everywhere the question of the government or the system could ever come up. I may have mentioned, from my earliest recollection, my father made it clear. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Is that so difficult to understand? The word is our signpost. And then on the back of that, he has a copy of 1 LED 507 3 Dow 54 Penhallow versus Doane. Penhallow et al. Versus Doane's administrators. 1 LED 507 head notes classified to U.S. Supreme Court Digest Lawyers Edition. Congress, before and after the Articles of Confederation, had authority to institute a court of appeals with jurisdiction to hear and determine all appeals from courts of admiralty in the respective states in cases of capture, page 79 to 85, 91, 109, 113. Being the highest court, its decision was final and could not be opened or reviewed collaterally in another court as to jurisdiction or errors or irregularities. Pages 85, 86, 96, 103, 116. Congress during the Revolution had the supreme sovereign power of war and peace. Page 80, 95, 111. The district court and jurisdiction of a liable to carry into execution a decree of the Court of Appeals in a prize case after the latter court has expired. Page 86, 97, 98. Open quote, inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction, and a creature of the mind only, a government can interface only with other artificial persons. The imaginary, having neither actuality nor substance, is foreclosed from create and attaining parity with the tangible. The legal manifestation of this is that no government as well as any law, agency, aspect, court, etc., can concern itself with anything other than corporate artificial persons and the contracts between them. SCR 1795, Penhallow versus Doane's Administrators, 3 U.S. 54-1 LED 57-3 Dow 54. All right, and then I'm going to read the last page here. Lie. The lie is limited liability versus the whole truth, which is absolute liability. Many times over many years, I found myself having discussions about how we got so far away from the Word in this legalistic culture. Every time I found myself illustrating Satan's system versus God's system. Now, if one willfully refuses to see God, if one willfully refuses to see God in their position, they are all the more vulnerable and easily caught up in the lie. I later came up with the illustration on the reverse, Satan versus God, and I found I no longer had to draw it out in front of someone. I found I no longer had to draw it out in front of somebody when the topic came due. Corporate/mob fiction advantage is always sold as limited liability. Illustrated on the left under Satan, which of the course sounds good for every sinful, greedy heart. The word, the truth, illustrated on the right, God. We see that those deceived on the left are getting when they dragged into the so-called courts. In fact, it is an evil, well-worked deception, where the satanic masters transfer all of the wealth and power to themselves and all of the liability to the masses of the deceived. And true justice, righteousness, surety, Proverbs 6:1-5. Surety ship. Note, they say the satanic system has the same image as is found in many Christian churches. The deception woven throughout the land this day. It is ultimately our Lord Jesus the Christ who shall have the entire victory with courage, in service of our Lord, with love of Jesus of Christ. Yours, Rex Russell Dean. Bless you.